They are in space.
I am very disappointed.
Screw this. I'm walking out.
Walked Out, the movie game show podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Walked Out podcast, the movie game show podcast where we fire the nuclear vessels. I am your host, Matt. This week's topic is spice, and I'm not going to keep up the accent.
Spice? Is this a cooking podcast?
With me, falling into a black hole and haunting his daughter's bedroom for eternity, we have the lovely Stuart. And going insane from claustrophobia for returning from space, we have Amy.
Does sound like me.
How's it going, guys? You have a good week?
What movie's that?
That is Lucy in the Sky.
Oh, I've not seen that.
It's quite recent. We saw the trailers for it in a movie we watched just before lockdown and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I don't remember it.
It was the one with the clever trailer, because she goes to space, she looks at space and sort of sees infinite majesty and beauty and stuff, and then has to come back down to Earth and realises everything's small and rooms are small and she's never going to space again and she's stuck here. And every time it's from her perspective, it's shot in 4:3, make everything more square and boxed in. Yeah.
Oh, that's clever.
It's clever in the trailer because they keep slowly dragging it in just to show when she comes back down to Earth. It's a very clever movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, this week's topic is space. You watch a lot of space movies, guys. I know you didn't, Amy.
I've really struggled this week, not gonna lie. It's been a funny lockdown week.
Yeah, you spent it all playing Valorant.
Yeah, so my Netflix party buddy has now become my gaming buddy. A lot less time spent on Netflix and a lot more time spent on Valorant. I'd managed to squeeze a bit of time in.
And watch one movie.
And I realised just how quite large the genre is. I didn't realise. I had a few movies that came to mind straight away as soon as you said space sci-fi, you know, set in space, not really planetary. Yeah, it is quite a big genre, and I wish I had spent more time diving into it. I really do, because it looks like some really good psychological stuff out there as well.
I think sci-fi and psychological go hand in hand.
True. That is exactly... Those things go so hand in hand.
It's like musicals and Nazis.
Your favourite musical from last week's musical theme.
Yeah. Oh, we should have done Amy a favour and had a bonus week for this week as well to allow for space.
No, I feel like you guys did so well in musicals last week. I do feel like I've let you two down a little bit this week. But next week I will be 100% better, whatever next week's theme.
You struggled this week because I also struggled this week.
Did you? But you picked it.
You picked it on a whim. You were like, oh shit, yeah, I need to pick a theme.
Yeah, I picked it forgetting that I had to pick a topic.
It's your one job.
I was like, the sci-fi, space, something. The only reason I thought of it is I went outside at 3 a.m. recently and I looked at the sky and got depressed.
Oh, God.
You had a little existential crisis.
No, it wasn't existential. It was just I've had this realization a few times that I've never seen an actually starry sky.
Oh.
Because I grew up in London, and ever I've been on holiday, even the places that were out, I was always never got far enough from where the people are.
I mean, you grew up in Richmond. There's got to be some little bits you can look at.
You can see at any time 15 stars, I would say. You can usually see Orion, the Big Dipper, and that's about it. There's no stars in the background. There's no Milky Way shit. I want to go somewhere, sit on a mountain and look at space.
I mean, if we go to the north of England sometime, that'd be a fun holiday.
Yeah, we could climb Ben Nevis.
It's a blackout spot where they have to keep the sky clear of light pollution so that the scientists or enthusiasts can look out of telescopes.
Yes, this is where our friend Benjamin went.
Oh.
Benjamin Button, you'll recognise him as Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you'll recognise him as CGI.
Yeah.
Right. Should we get started on the first game?
Yeah. What is the first game?
Whose Review? I genuinely forgot for a second the name of the game.
Fuck me.
Spaghetti week 5.
Should we get started on Whose Review?
Whose Review?
Right, for our first game, we're playing Whose Review, in which Amy and Stuart will be reading out 3 reviews, 2 of which are real internet user reviews they found by scouring the webs, and 1 of which is their own opinion that they've written pretty much immediately after watching the movie. Our job's to figure out which movie they're reviewing, and which review is their own. Let's begin. Amy, say heads or tails.
I'm going to say heads.
Oh shit, you get to go first.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so my review. We're going to start off with review 1. Why? Why do the makers of this piece of garbage think us all for fools? Have none of them heard of physics, of logic, or paradoxes before? Whoever wrote this drivel must be a very uneducated person. I cannot believe how somebody can live with the complete crap they've created. Guess this is the world we live in right now. Only shit and garbage all around. Please don't make another one of this drivel.
10 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Okay, so they don't agree with the physics, which narrows it down to fuck all. This narrows it down to anything but The Martian.
Off the bat, I think this might be The Last Jedi.
Oh, because people do get angry about that, and it has stupid physics.
Oh no, that's just a joke because people hate that movie so much.
What is this physics? And I was like, it's fucking Star Wars. This is an unscientific hyperdrive.
Yeah.
I mean, it is science fiction.
Yeah. When I was watching Gravity, I did spend a lot of time thinking, that's not how physics works. But I still enjoyed it.
It's fiction, it's science fiction.
The movie was good enough that every time the physics was dumb, I was like, well, that's wrong, but I get exactly why you did that.
That's good if it's justified.
Like the bit where George Clooney is like hanging onto the cable and he has to let himself go as if he's still pulling somehow. But he's not. They've already stopped him, so he should just be stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Or things should bounce and like you can't just move between satellites because they're in different orbit. Yeah, it was all... None of it made any sense, but that was true with almost all of them. Like,
Wow, my world is shattered. I thought that movie was supposed to be completely dead on realistic, but
visually it was very close. Like the stuff with like, that is what the inside of a Soyuz looks like.
yeah.
And how you pilot it mostly. Right, so yeah, I still have no idea what it is. Review number 2?
Okay. I think definitely maybe a time travel movie, but carry on, maybe.
Ooh, good point. Paradoxes. Could be Interstellar then.
Review number 2. And this was announced. I got so excited for this Netflix original TV show to come. Turns out it was a straight to Netflix film, the modern day equivalent of straight to VHS. I did love how the franchise is building on standalone films, however, even Chris O'Dowd didn't manage to keep my attention.
Ooh.
I fell asleep twice. I tried to watch this twice. I fell asleep both times. I have no clue how this film ties in with the franchise, and I'm okay with that. The writing was patronising, the characters unrelatable. Bring us back to Earth, please. 1 out of 10.
So it's a straight to Netflix movie.
Which one's Chris O'Dowd?
Chris O'Dowd, you'll know him as IT Crowd.
Oh!
Yeah, he was in Thor 2, but that wasn't straight to Netflix, which is what I thought of.
I think... Okay, there's only one sci-fi that I know that has him in it, so I'm not going to say anything, but I think I know what it is. Sorry, Matt.
I'm going to need more clues then.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't know Thor 2?
Oh no, I know Thor 2.
Yeah, he's in Thor 2.
Okay, review number 3. This is my first review on IMDb.
Oh.
And I wanted to jump in and share my point of view, since I feel a lot of people are losing the point of this film. It's somehow connected. Just like the first and second of the J.J. Abrams franchise movies, and not the same type of movie in any way. The premise is great, nothing new, but somehow refreshing. There are some cliches, but overall, this is a really enjoyable experience. It has that space thriller sci-fi sense to it, but it delivers. And in a way that helps you understand the first film. If you're a sci-fi and thriller fan, this is a no-brainer. See it. 8 out of 10.
Oh. So it's straight to Netflix. It's a sequel. It's part of a franchise. It's got Chris O'Dowd.
It's not really a sequel. It's like they're trying to set up an interconnected universe. And it's also more of a prequel than a sequel.
Thanks for adding clues, Stuart, but I still have no idea.
Shall I run through the headlines for you?
Yes.
So, number 1 was, have none of them ever heard of physics of logic or paradoxes before? The next one was, I fell asleep twice and tried to watch this twice. Chris O'Dowd wasn't enough. And the last one was, just like the first and second of the J.J. Abrams franchise film, connected but not the same type of movie.
Yeah, I still don't know. I'm gonna guess Ad Astra. That went straight to streaming, I think.
No, it's not.
Okay, what is it, Stuart?
Astro was definitely in the cinemas, going shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I knew exactly what it is the moment you mentioned the Roy from IT Crow, because there's only one movie that he's in, and also the key word is paradox. The Cloverfield paradox.
It is the Cloverfield paradox.
Because, yeah, it was absolutely panned, wasn't it?
It was quite hard to get 3 diverse reviews for it. It was quite hard to get some diverse reviews for it.
Was the Cloverfield Paradox the sequel where they're in a bunker?
No, they're in space.
Oh, what am I thinking?
No, you're thinking of 10 Cloverfield Lane with
that.
John Goodman and those 2 teenagers or whatever.
Oh, okay. It's hard to think there's been 3 Cloverfield movies now.
And it's part of their weird attempt to create a weird Cloverfield cinematic universe is what they're trying to do.
I think it's just the same story, but initially, especially with the first and second one, they build on it whilst also attacking it from different angles and such different genres as well.
Like The Purge.
Like The Purge. Well, a little bit more diverse than The Purge, but it is different angles, and I think they show that through different genres. So the first one was classic sort of footage found, and then the second one was a lot more drama thriller.
Out of those reviews, I don't know which one of those was Amy's. Could you give me the headlines again?
So the first one, have none of them ever heard of physics of logic or paradoxes?
No, that's not you.
Don't think that's you.
So that first person was very scientifically minded. They felt a bit patronised. The second one, they also felt patronised, but they didn't resonate with them at all. They just fell asleep during it. And the last one absolutely loved it, and they thought that some people weren't actually thinking about it enough.
I'm gonna guess the second one.
Me too. I feel like you would pick number 2 for 2 reasons. One, fall asleep. That's something I've seen you do to a movie. And also Chris O'Dowd. Like, as an English woman, I feel like he's going to be the person that...
He is home, isn't he? He's home. Chris O'Dowd is home.
Yeah, he's home.
Yeah.
Yes, you are both correct.
Yay.
It was number 2. And that's why I didn't get to watch any other films, because I spent so damn long trying to watch this one film that I didn't watch any of the other films that I wanted to watch. It's so frustrating.
Oh, I did that with West Side Story. It took so long. So at the end of round 1 of game 1, that is 2 points to Stuart, a point to me, and none for Amy, because that wouldn't really be possible at this point.
No.
Stuart, would you like to give us your reviews?
So I've got to beat 2, don't I? Stuart's got 2 points.
Yeah. Okay, so first review. Jumanji with a twist. They are in space.
I know.
Well, that was easy. Skip the reviews. We know this one.
Keep going. I want to hear what people thought.
This is by far the worst movie I've ever seen. The whole thing is a rip-off of Jumanji. Everything that happened in that movie is happening in this, but with a twist. They are in space. I laughed one time during the movie, but that was when I realised that every scene in this movie was also used in Jumanji. The only original thing was, nothing. I watched a lot of bad movies, but I can't recall any movie that was as bad as this one. I almost cried at the end for realising I'd actually saw the whole thing. This movie should be banned in every country in the world. A horrible movie, and I can't recommend to my worst enemy. 1 out of 10.
Ouch.
Oof.
So you think, don't make a guess, but
yeah, we know what movie it is.
you know exactly what it is. I thought it would be more obscure because no one talks about it.
I'm really annoyed I didn't think of it first.
I mean, it was pretty heard of, but I think most people just didn't watch it. But the thing is, you don't really have to watch it to like permanently know in your brain that when someone says the name, you're like, oh, Space Jumanji.
Well, we'll see as time goes on. We'll see if you can actually get the title, because it's one of those weird...
Yeah, it might not be what we're thinking, Matt.
But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, review number 2.
It'd be fucking amazing if this was what Ad Astra is about, because I still haven't seen Ad Astra. But go on.
Oh, yeah. It's actually Ad Astra, yeah? No. Okay. Yeah, okay. Review 2. Far more than Space Jumanji.
They really nail this point, don't they?
Based on my faith on the director Jon Favreau, I decided to give this movie a go. This was such a pleasant surprise. This avoids every mistake that was made in Jumanji. The kids act like real kids. The humour grows out of the characters, as does the suspense. The story is the point of this movie, not the impressive special effects. The acting is strong, and the score is appropriately old-fashioned, and every time you think you know exactly where the story is being headed, something else pops up and surprises you. Funny, suspenseful, and just plain fun. This movie deserved to be seen in theatres. Don't think of this as a spin-off of Jumanji. It has more in common with Jumanji as Finding Nemo does with Shark Tale. 9 out of 10.
I would disagree with a lot of that. I think the children, especially the older of the children, I think is so stereotypical and it frustrates me quite a lot. So I think that they don't act like children, I don't think.
I haven't seen it in years, but I do remember thinking they act like children.
But the special effects are physical special effects, so I think they've done extremely well, considering a lot of films around that time as well was so focused on computer generated special effects.
Oh yeah, other films looked like Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
But this one was all physical, and I think that is so impressive, and I think it makes it look more real, because I mean essentially it is real.
Yeah, I disagree with Amy, although I haven't seen it in years, but I remember the boys seeming realistic. But I remember them seeming realistic to boys.
The boys' relationship, I think, is quite realistic, but I don't think the actual character traits of them are very realistic.
There's a bit in Ender's Game. So Ender is a boy genius who the world is basically trying to create as many child geniuses as they can. But one of the things they do is they have to teach them to learn about, like, 3D combat.
Right.
So they're like, have them floating around in space in these big war rooms just full of cover and guns and stuff. And one of the first things they do is they put on these suits, they go flying, and they get a gun that if you shoot someone, freezes whatever limb gets hit. And one of the first thing Ender does when they figure out what it does is hand a gun to someone else and say, shoot me in the chest. And that is a very boy thing to do. It's like, that's sort of what I mean about, like, they're realistic kids, but they're very specifically realistic boys, not kids.
Okay, I dig it.
Is how I remember that being.
Okay.
All right, review number 3.
No, number 3. This guy actually, on Amy's point on special effects, this guy makes a point about special effects as well.
Oh, cool.
Solid spiritual sequel to Jumanji.
These are annoying me so much now.
Did you pick them like this as a joke, or could you literally not find a review that doesn't mention Jumanji?
All of them mention fucking Jumanji. It's all Jumanji, Junji.
For good reason, guys. For good reason.
I went in expecting nothing. I came out pleasantly surprised. From the moment the button is pressed and the house takes off, it's constant space fun for the rest of the movie. We're taking on a real adventure with some endearing characters. In a time where awkward practical effects and terrible CGI was prominent, this movie again surprises with a great use of both. I love the look of the alien lizards and the robot and the spaceships, and I love the look of space itself. This movie follows a very similar story beats to Jumanji without ripping it off entirely. However, unlike Jumanji, this movie is a fun, safe adventure rather than a sinister fight for survival. I'm not complaining, as I don't need to kill the kids every time. I had loads of fun watching this, despite not being the core demographic. Kids would definitely enjoy. 7 out of 10.
The fact that these lizards eat meat, I think it's quite scary.
Okay, so should we try and guess the movie?
Okay, make your guess. What is it?
Zathura.
Zathura.
Point to Matt because Amy guessed too late. No, joking. Yeah, point to both of you guys.
Point each.
Yeah, point each.
Can I point out
Yes.
a really important fact about this film?
Yes.
Go on.
Jumanji is based on a book called Jumanji. That writer also wrote a book called Zathura. So Zathura is actually a sequel to Jumanji.
It is a sequel.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not a film sequel. that it is actually based on a book that was a sequel.
I can see why you were getting so annoyed at those reviewers.
Every single time I was like, because I knew there was a connection, so I did do a cheeky little look up. Because I was like, I know it shares a writer, but I didn't know if it was a film writer or if it was the actual book writer. But it is.
Okay.
They share the same book writer.
Right, because on the posters it says "From the World of Jumanji." Because I didn't realize it was written as a direct semi-sequel. I knew it was written in the same universe. It's some kind of evil, malicious board game cinematic universe coming to a theatre near you.
The Hasbro Cinematic Universe.
I would live for that. I mean, that would be like Pixels, but so much better than Pixels.
That would be great. Make a horror movie out of that. Mousetrap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Mousetrap. Oh, that's Saw. Saw is part of the Hasbro Cinematic Universe.
That's just an escape room. Yeah.
Or The Cube, that one. Oh, Settlers of Catan 2.
Oh, fuck.
The Catana.
I don't even know what that would look like. I don't think I want to know what that would look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Amy, apart from movie continuity, what was your big disagreement with further reviews,
My
Amy?
big disagreement was that I think the special effects were perfect. Really appreciated that they used actual effects rather than relying on CGI. Because like that guy said, it wasn't top-notch at that time. You could get it very wrong. You could get it very right. So I'm glad they didn't bank on it and that they did it all sort of offline. I think the relationship with the kids was real. Like the brothers sort of the opposite of animosity. The brothers sort of clashing a little bit.
The thing I noticed going in was it was two brothers in a house, and then a meteor hits, and they ran as fast as they could.
Two brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Unfortunately, I think Kristen Stewart, as sexy as she is in that film...
She's funny.
Yeah, her character was so 2D.
She's funny.
All three of them are very endearing, and I do agree with that review that they're very endearing. But I just found her character just so stereotypical teenage girl.
What, hitting too close to home, Amy?
Hitting way too close to home. So that's my 2 cents on Zathura.
Okay.
I'm so annoyed you thought of that film first.
Yeah.
I think as host, I have to push us to try and guess which review is his.
Yeah.
What was the headlines for the reviews?
So the headlines are Jumanji with a twist. They're in space. Didn't enjoy it. 1 out of 10. Far more than a Jumanji in space. He liked the director. He liked the kids. So he liked it. And then solid spiritual sequel to Jumanji. He likes it. He talks about the effects. He thinks the kids are endearing. Loads of fun.
I feel like you've talked quite positively about it. So I think it's definitely one of the last 2. I'm going to say maybe the third one, because you disagreed with me about Kristen Stewart. So I think you would say that the kids are endearing. So I'm going to say review 3.
What about you, Matt?
I am also going to say number 3, mostly because I know you like practical effects and because I just think you would like that movie and it sounded the most like you liking it.
You're both correct. Point each.
Yay.
Da, 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 da. I only picked it because I thought, you know what? I wanted to be mean. I thought you guys would have a much harder time picking it, finding it. I knew Amy was certainly not going to pick it for her movie.
I'm so annoyed I didn't. I'm so annoyed that you thought of it first, because it is entirely set in space, and it's such a beautiful space as well, like you said.
Yeah, and also, practical effects. The lizards are all real, and also that's one of the facts. Jon Favreau, that's why he was picked as the director, because he's got an aptitude for practical effects, and that carries over to his later work in like Mandalorian and the later Iron Man movies as well.
That is cool.
And also when they're in space, when they're in the house, instead of putting up like green screen around the house, they've actually got, you can see it's like little map paintings or actual space has been set outside on projectors. So it is actually there.
Oh, that is cool. I didn't know about that part.
Like if you look closely, you can tell that's what they've done, because I looked around their hair and checked for any awkward green like any weird pixelation that you get, especially around 2005.
I know all of the rocks and everything was real, so they had the house, and when they were filming outside the house, they did have all the rocks and like the crumpled ground also built around the house as well, so it wasn't just like an interior studio house. They did build the whole thing. and-
Yeah.
The house got popped out the ground like in Rick and Morty where they split the ground.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly. And
Exactly,
they
yeah.
built that.
And they leave that crack there for the rest of
Yeah.
the show.
That actually house. So they did build a real house, and they also destroyed a real house. They had to film the beginning and the end at the same time because all the damage done, all
Has
the
to stay
rooms
the
they
same,
blew
doesn't it?
up, everything, every part of that, they actually did blow it up, and that's great.
Nice.
They must have loads
They
of fun
used
doing
like pressurized air, didn't they, to
Yeah.
like shoot the holes through the walls. Yeah, I remember watching that.
that. Yeah.
Very cool.
Also good if you're looking for some of that sweet, sweet 50s nostalgia as well, because the style of the box and also the music was very 50s Flash Gordon-esque, like the look of the aliens. You know, they're straight out of like one of those serials.
Flash.
And
Ah.
Savior of the Universe.
It's got is it Dax Shepard plays the astronaut. And I love that moment where Christian Stewart is like really into him,
Oh, that's a great. Yeah.
and then you get that beautiful plot twist right at the end, and she's like, "Oh, that's disgusting."
The thing is, I was watching it, I'm like, wait, this is him and as Kristen Stewart's supposed to find him. He's not that hot. He's not bad looking, but like I wouldn't do him. I'd marry him. He'd make a great father, but I wouldn't
So
marry him.
You'd marry him. You wouldn't snog him.
Certainly wouldn't kill him.
No. He's not bad looking, but like I wouldn't kill him, no, not by any shot.
Right, so that is 2 points each. I had 1, Stuart had 2, and now Amy has 2, which means I'm on 3, I think.
Me and Stuart want to do a little something, don't we, Stuart?
We do, but I don't remember why I agreed to.
Stuart, 3, 2, 1.
one.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to
To you. Happy birthday to Matthew. Happy birthday to
you. Okay, allocate points.
I thought you were going to do a movie thing. Couldn't
No.
have been more disappointed. Oh, yeah.
No, allocate more points. You make me the fucking winner this week, piece of shit. Come on.
Thank you, guys. It is much appreciated.
So everyone at home, when this episode comes out, it will be a few days past Matt's birthday, but we wanted to do a little something considering we're not going to spend it together this year.
No.
It doesn't look like.
No. We have to be apart.
Apart but together.
Distant. We all have to stay on our own tiny little planets like in The Little Prince.
It's fine. Drinking wine in your own bathtub will save you so much money than going to a pub or something.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. If we got some time, Matt, what was your review that you did hastily in 15 minutes?
My reviews. Okay.
Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it to tie for second.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. Okay, prestigious second place.
Yeah, let's do yours to tie for second.
Yeah, do a lightning round. Oh, first one to get it gets it. So,
Oh, so you just jump in with the answer?
yeah, shooting blank style. Whoever gets it, gets it.
All right. So to make it difficult, I picked reviews that were all 8 out of 10.
Okay,
Oh, so they're all quite positive then.
all right.
Right. So this review is titled Hurrah or Hoorah.
All right.
This movie is utterly ridiculous. The acting is cheesy, the writing is at times stilted and awkward, the violence is so gleefully gory that it feels more akin to a low-budget B-movie than a high-budget blockbuster, but therein lies Blank's charm. This movie is not meant to be taken at face value. Everything you see is satire. Blank's tone is so genuinely gung-ho and pro-war that it feels like a propaganda film made by both sides during the earlier days of World War
Iron
II.
Sky.
The characters might
No.
be bullheaded. Pardon?
Iron Sky.
Nope.
Oh, I can't remember the name. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. It's
Let me finish. The characters might be bullheaded, but they're always right. The mission that the troopers are sent to carry out is undeniably...
Star Trek Troopers. Starship Troopers.
Oh.
Yeah. I knew it, and I had my phone out googling. I'm like, "Fuck, what's the name of this movie?" I can't.
Whoa!
remember.
Did you just admit you're cheating?
No, I didn't cheat. I just
You just said you had your phone out googling.
Oh.
You just said I had my phone out googling.
not
just
okay, not
said it.
googling specifically, but I just couldn't remember the. Oh fuck!
Stuart.
Sure.
I no.
It is Starship Troopers.
So what did you think of Starship Troopers?
I like Starship Troopers, although the first time I saw it, I watched it at Sci-Fi Fantasy Cult Movie Society at uni, SFX, and it was in this big crowd. I had no information about it, and I was so confused because I knew it was satire, but I kept waiting for it to pivot and actually make a point. But it just stayed being what it was satirizing in a way that, now that I've seen it twice, I get is actually like brave and good. Whereas at the time I was like, is this not going to pivot? Is it not going to pivot? Why is he wearing a Nazi uniform? Are you not going to comment on the Nazi anything? And it just kept going, and then it just ended, and I was like, oh, they won. And you sort of have to take a second to realize that the movie you're watching, like that review just said, is the idea is that it's a movie that the society in it would have made about themselves rather than the movie we would have made about them.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is sort of what's so different and daring about it, and what I really like about it.
Do you know what I really like about it? And it's a really bad reason.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
But Starship Troopers, again, like I said, because it's very satire, it's often referenced in a lot of other comedy films.
Oh yeah, like the I'm Doing My Part.
And so when I finally actually watched it, I was like, oh, this is where that's from, and this is where that's from, and this is where that's from. And if I'm honest, that's one of the main reasons I really enjoyed it, because it was like a revelation for me.
So I've not actually watched Starship Troopers. Is it worth watching?
You haven't seen it?
I've not watched it, no. Is it worth...
You should watch it. It is bonkers.
Okay, I like some bonkers.
Like, every detail about it is just crazy.
Yeah, bonkers. All right.
So, to play for second place, or was that playing for second place?
That was...
I think, considering Stuart admitted to cheating, we should do a round of shooting blanks.
Okay. Keep it traditional.
Shooting blanks. Pew, 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 pew,
Pew, pew, pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Okay, off the record though, only reason I googled it is because I knew it, but it's just I couldn't remember. I had Space Force on the brain, and I'm like, I've been watching Space Force all week, and I'm just like, it's something. Is it Space Cadets, Space Force, Space Star Force?
It is very similar to Space Force, to be fair.
Yeah. And I just wanted second place so bad. I couldn't. I did what I had to do.
You got to do what you can in this world.
I got to do what I got to do what I can to get ahead.
Shooting blanks. Here we go. So this one is a first to interrupt with the correct answer.
Yes.
So blank teams up with blank blank and the rest of his pals in a blank game. It's more important than any that has ever come before.
Jumanji.
The fate of the Earth hangs on the result.
Zathura.
The problem has arisen because an invading alien race, the Blanks, want to kidnap Blank and the rest of the Blanks.
Zender's Game?
And use them as a tourist attraction on Blank Mountain.
Space Mountain? Is this a space movie?
It is a space movie.
Tourist attraction.
Invading aliens want to kidnap a gang of Blanks and make them a tourist attraction.
Fucking Space Jam.
Yes.
Technically not a space movie, but it's in theme.
No, there is space travel in it.
There is some, space travel. It's Futurama space travel.
Some of it's set on another planet. All right, a point for Cheetah Stewart. I assume he was Googling it when he was going, oh.
No,
obviously it was Googling it.
I'm not,
That's how I'm going to make myself feel better, because he was obviously Googling it. I didn't. I was thinking Hitchhiker's Guide. Stuart, I will give Stuart second out of the goodness of my heart.
Okay, well, at the end of the episode, that makes me the winner, which is an excellent birthday present. Thank you, Pooh, for purposely letting me win. I know that's what happened.
Happy birthday, Matt.
And a happy not birthday to you guys.
Yes.
And if you're in the audience and it's your birthday, fuck you. No, it isn't. It's mine. Go away.
This is Matt's day.
Where was I going? Oh, yeah. So at the end of the episode, that puts me as the winner, Stuart as second place, and Amy is also here. Do you guys want to plug your Twitters?
My Twitter is @FiskMonster, if you actually fancy suggesting any themes for my week, which I think is only in like 2 weeks' time. Mm-hmm. So you have time to think of some.
Yeah, if you want.
We've also obviously got the Walked Out Twitter @WalkedOutPod and Facebook @WalkedOutPod.
And you can follow me @Strobertat. I never use it, but, you know.
You can follow him. And if you want a parasocial relationship with me, you can follow me @NimSudo on Twitter, @WalkedOutPodcast on Twitter. You can follow the podcast on Spotify now and some other things when they get uploaded.
Yes.
Yes, so we're working on Apple Music, but we're pretty much on everything so far.
Who is Stuart? You're hosting next week.
I thought, let's go with a fun one that I know you guys will enjoy. Dun dun, Action Dads. Family-orientated action heroes.
Ooh, like The Last of Us.
The rule is the family must come into the plot at least a little bit. It can't be like, oh, my wife and kids are at home waiting for me. It's got to be, oh, I want my family back, or I've got to kidnap the president of the United States to get my family back, or
They have a very specific set of skills, sort of thing.
yeah, that's right. So the family must come into play at least a little bit. Even if it is at the end, they must be present. They can't just be offhand mentioned. So, Action Dads. I think this is going to be a fun
I
one.
like that because, yeah, like you said, I think you've already touched on quite a few that I like. White House Down. It's, you know, he's very motivated by his daughter. First thing that comes to mind is sort of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think he's got quite a few action films where he's, you know, family dad. You know, he wants to keep his family safe. So, yeah, this could be an exciting week. I love it. I love it.
Right, so at the end of the episode, join us again next week for Action Dads. I've been Matt.
I've been Stuart.
And I've been Amy.
See you all next week. Bye.
See you guys.
See you later.
See you on the flip.
Bye.
Bye.